The VR space is constantly growing, and last month we had a new wave of exciting news. From potential new headsets using the Meta Horizon OS, the launch of the new Pico headset, and more information about highly anticipated VR titles coming this year, we have some interesting topics to speak about in this episode of VR News. Let's start with the news about Jio, India's largest mobile network, which apparently is in talks with Meta about launching a cheap headset using the Horizon OS in the country, according to the information report. The outlet cites 3 people with the knowledge of the situation as saying the talks are happening but aren't at a stage where any deal has been finalized. In addition to its mobile network, Jio also runs an e-commerce platform, digital payment services, and an ecosystem of apps-based services, including a messaging platform, streaming services, and gaming platform. Meta took a 10% stake in Jio back in 2020 as part of a deal designed to integrate some of Jio's e-commerce services into WhatsApp. Jio's controlling shareholder is also a personal friend of Mark Zuckerberg. If things work out well, this could be another opportunity for Meta to integrate more people into the Horizon ecosystem through this cheaper device made by Jio. At the moment, we can only wait for more concrete information about this potential partnership. For the ones of you who own a Quest 2, you will be happy to hear that now the headset can track your hands and its controller simultaneously, similar to the Quest 3 and Pro. Since February, shipping Quest apps have been able to use hand tracking and either Quest 3 or Quest Pro controllers simultaneously, a feature Meta calls multimodal. That included Quest 2 but only with Pro controllers, not its default touch controllers. Until now, with the release of V68 of the Meta XR Core SDK, multimodal mode now also supports the default touch controllers on the Quest 2. This means all currently supported Meta headsets now support this feature, which could encourage developers to support it more. At the moment, almost no shipping Quest apps support multimodal, which is a shame because it could allow for some interesting in-game mechanics. ByteDance officially announced and opened pre-orders for its new headset Pico 4 Ultra in China. This headset is a refresh of the original Pico 4 with an upgraded chipset, RAM, pass-through cameras, battery, Wi-Fi and controllers. The lenses, displays, and overall design of the Pico 4 Ultra remains almost identical to the original, with the exception of the brightness, which the company claims it has an increase of 25%. Pico 4 Ultra uses the same Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 chipset as Meta Quest 3, but instead of 8GB of RAM, the new Pico has 12. This could make it superior for on-device multitasking and potentially allow game developers to use higher resolution textures and more details. Another aspect that it's worth mentioning is that the Pico 4 Ultra is the first headset to support the new Wi-Fi 7 standard, which could enable more stable PC VR streaming for those who have a Wi-Fi 7 router. In China, the headset is available for pre-order for approximately $600 and it will become available in Europe and in the rest of Asia from September 20. Pico motion trackers are another interesting device which will add leg tracking by using a clever calibration technique. Like Sony's Mocopi, each Pico motion tracker features an IMU containing a tiny accelerometer and gyroscope. But unlike other IMU trackers, Pico motion trackers also feature 12 infrared LEDs each, which are tracked by the headset for 2 purposes. They are firstly used to enable rapid initial calibration. You simply stand still and look down, and the base position of your legs is measured. From then on, they use the provided True 6DoF positional tracking whenever a tracker is within view of one of the headset's tracking cameras. When they're not in the view of a camera, the IMU data is fed into a skeletal module who generates plausible but imperfect estimated leg poses. This hybrid model is an interesting approach we haven't seen used for leg tracking before. It should provide a higher quality output than pure IMU trackers at a significantly lower cost than Vive trackers. If this kind of trackers prove to be attractive for Pico users, hopefully we will see other companies like Meta making their own versions in the future. On another note, the Quest headsets just got an interesting new capability via the new first-party app named Quest HDMI Link. In short, you can now plug any HDMI device into the Quest and use the headset as a floating monitor for your device. The description from Upload VR is as follows. This app lets you view the screen of almost any device via a UVC capture card, a hardware device that takes in HDMI or DisplayPort and outputs a compressed video signal over USB. Capture cards can be used with smartphones, tablets, consoles, and more. For example, you could use a Lightning to HDMI cable alongside a capture card to view your iPhone on a giant virtual screen in your Quest. Meta says the app supports up to 1080p 60 fps input and recommends you to set the capture card to that resolution and frame rate. Personally, I still prefer the convenience of a wireless connection, but having the option of using this method might prove to be useful in certain cases. On the gaming side of VR, we have both good and bad news to speak about. Let's get the bad ones out of the way first. Meta has finally given us an official statement about San Andreas VR. This game should have been released long time ago, in 2021, but after a couple of delays, it has gone radio silent until last month. Sadly, the official statement is as follows. GTA San Andreas is on hold indefinitely while we both focus on other projects. We look forward to working with our friends at Rockstar in the future. So there you have it. It's a sad reveal for all the GTA fans who play VR, but at least now we know the state of this project. On a more happier note, we got to see more gameplay for two of the most anticipated VR games of the year. I'm speaking about Batman Arkham Shadow and Behemoth, titles which we can proudly name AAA VR games. The first one has shown us a little more of its innovative combat mechanics and gadgets you will need to master in order to become the nightmare of all the criminals in the city. We have all the things we come to expect from a Batman game, like the stealth takedowns, gliding, grappling, and the detective vision. The official outline of the game is as follows. You'll need to master all of Batman's abilities in order to save Gotham City. Set between the events of Batman Arkham Origin and Batman Arkham Asylum, you'll step into the shoes of a relatively young and increasingly confident Bruce Wayne as he takes on the Rat King, a dangerous new criminal with a cultish following. As for Behemoth, being the perfect mix between the Shadow of Colossus and Spider-Man created from ground up for VR, is exactly the kind of experience I can't wait to play myself. The recent demo presents the Dreadstag, a fearsome and colossal beast that could almost reach the clouds. I think it is fair to say that nothing of the scale has been done in VR until now. While Asgard's Wrath 2 has its own gigantic monsters, the degree of interactions you can have with them is pretty limited. In Behemoth, you can really feel the scale while directly interacting with the giant beasts. The statement of the game director Brian Murphy is as follows. We wanted to take everything that we had done in the Saints and Sinners with combat, and then we said, what else can we do in VR that we have a unique point of view on? The scale and size was wonderful, and that was how we arrived at the Shadow of Colossus angle. We've also put a ton of work into making sure people aren't sick while also remaining uncompromising with the experience. We want you to be clinging to the Dreadstag arm as he tries to shake it. Lastly, let's speak about the supposedly new ultra-light headset Meta is trying to launch in 2027. According to the new report, at the same product roadmap review meeting where Zuckerberg and Buzzword cancelled La Jolla, previously suspected to be the Quest Pro 2, they greenlighted a very different headset codenamed Puffin, with the same target year of 2027. puffin reportedly resembles a bulky pair of glasses and weighs less than 110 grams. Yet, it is an opaque VR-style headset with pancake lenses and pass-through cameras. Its remarkably lightweightness is apparently being achieved by offshotting both the battery and computing hardware to an external tethered pack, which Meta hopes will be small enough to fit in the user's pocket. It remains to be seen if this project will survive until its launch date, taking into account that the external battery is one of the negative aspects people point out about the Apple Vision Pro. This is all for last month's news. I want to apologize to the ones of you who were following my videos regularly and tell you that I will start posting weekly again. For the others, if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing for more VR content. Hope to see you next time. Goodbye.